Everyone is Shirley. It's Resolution of the Heart, and I am going to start reading chapter 2 in the Krishna book. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, a wonderful week last week after reading of this book. I'm going to try to speak up louder. I have the phone propped so that the microphone is not down on something. And when I go to upload it, I will try to make sure I have this up as high as I could. Positive Bluebird, thank you for your comment and letting me know about this. I am in the automobile, so you may hear some sounds of cars, trucks, and people, okay? And I just wanted to, I wanted to get out the house. I have an appointment at 1 o'clock. It's only 10:30 now. And I want to make sure that I don't miss, I'm trying not to miss a week of reading the Krishna books. It's not a large book, but it's a very good book. I like to say, I like to give thanks before I even try to do this again after experiencing something, that I like to give thanks to my guru, Vaish, and through his guru, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, and all the carriers prior to them, that we can have a good reading, and that it will uplift your week, uplift you, and that you have a very good weekend, and it add a little something to your weekend. So let's get started. So chapter 2 is the way of chanting and knowing Krishna. And you guys know I have a little eye issue here, so I may have to get my little handy dandy thing to follow along. So let's get started. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is transcendental sound vibration. It will help us to cleanse the dust from the mirror of our mind. At the present moment, we have accumulated so much material dust on the mirror of the mind. Just as a Second Avenue, New York City, there is dust and soot over everything due to the heavy traffic. Due to our manipulation of material activities, a great deal of dust has collected over our clear mirror. And as a consequence, we are unable to see things in perspective. This vibration of transcendental sound, the Hare Krishna mantra, will cleanse away this dust and enable us to see clearly our real constitutional position. As soon as we come to understand, I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, and my symptoms is consciousness, we will be able to establish ourselves in real happiness. As our consciousness is purified by this process of chanting Hare Krishna, all our material miseries will disappear. There is a fire that is always blazing over this material world, and everyone is trying to extinguish it. But there is no possibility of extinguishing this fire of misery of material nature unless we are situated in our pure consciousness and our spiritual life. One of the purpose of Lord Krishna descendant, our appearance in this material world, our appearance in this material world is to extinguish the fire of material existence for all living entities by setting forth the Dharma, and the Sanskrit reading. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendants of Bhakta, and a predominant rise of irreligion at the time, I descend myself in order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion. I advance myself millennium after millennium. In this verse, the word Dharma is used. The word has been translated into English in various ways. Sometimes it is translated as faith, but according to Vedic literature, Dharma is not a kind of faith. Faith may change. but Dharma cannot be changed. The liquidity of water cannot change. If it is changed, if it is changed, if for an instance water becomes solid, it is actually no longer in its constitutional position. It is existing under a certain qualifying condition. Our Dharma, our constitutional position is that we are part and partial of the Supreme, and this being the case, we have to dovetail or subjugate our consciousness to the Supreme. This position of transcendental service to the Supreme Whole is being misused due to material contact. Service is implicit in our constitutional position. Everyone is a servant, and no one is a master. Everyone is serving someone or other. Although the president may be the chief executive of a state, still he is serving the state. And when his service is no longer required, the state disposes of him. To think, to think, I'm sorry, you guys, to think to oneself, I am the master of all I survey, is called Maya, illusion. Thus, in the material consciousness, our service is being misused under various destinations. When we become free from these destinations, that is to say, when the dust has been cleared from the mirror of the mind, we will be able to see ourselves in our actual position as eternal servants of Krishna. One should not think that his service in the material world and his service in the spiritual atmosphere are the same. We may shudder to think, oh, after liberation I will still be a servant. This is because we have experienced that being a servant in the material world is not very enjoyable. But transcendental service is not like this. In the spiritual world, there is no difference between the servant and the master. Here, of course, there is a distinction, but in the absolute world, everything is one. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Krishna has taken the position of servant as the chariot driver of Arjuna. In his constitutional position, Arjuna is the servant of Krishna. But in behavior, we can see that sometimes the Lord becomes the servant of a servant. So we should be careful not to carry materialistic ideas into the spiritual realm. Whatever we have materially experienced is but a perverted reflection of the things in spiritual life. When our constitutional position of Dharma is deteriorated due to the contamination of matter, the Lord himself comes as an incarnation or sends some of his confidential servitudes. Lord Jesus Christ called himself the Son of God, and so is a representative of the Supreme. Similar, Muhammad identified himself as a servant of the Supreme Lord. Thus, whenever there is a discrepancy in our constitutional position, the Supreme Lord either comes himself or sends his representative to inform us of the real position of the living entity. Therefore, one should not make the mistake of thinking that Dharma is a created faith. In its proper sense, Dharma cannot be divorced from the living entity at all. It is to the living entity what sweetness is to sugar, or saltiness is to salt, or solidity, I can't get that one out, solidity, I think that's right, is to stone, solid, okay. In no case can it be cut off. The Dharma of the living entity is to serve. And we can easily see that every living entity has the tendency to serve himself or others. How to serve Krishna, how to disentangle, how to disentangle ourselves from the materialistic service, how to attain Krishna consciousness and become free from material destinations is all taught as a science by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. The word sadhu, sadhu, in the verse quoted above. Okay, now this is some Sanskrit that I cannot say, but I'm going to try, you guys. Above, beginning Paritraneya Sadhanam refers to a holy man or saintly person. A saintly person is tolerant, very kind to everyone, is a friend to all living entities, is no one's enemy, and is always peaceful. There are 26 basic qualifications for a holy man, and in the Bhagavad Gita, we find that Sri Krishna himself gives the following verdict. So before we go on, I thought there were some really good points in here. And I think the one of them is to always remember that we're always serving somebody, okay? Um, while we're on this earth, but our original position is our service to Krishna or to God. I like that it said that when you think of Jesus and Muhammad, they all didn't come and say, I am God, but they came saying, I represented God. And those were in times of need. When Jesus came, it was something that was needed. It needed to be clarified because what was going on at the time, place, time and place, at that time and place, what was going on. And so he came to straighten that out. And I like that point. So, when you think about it, we are never alone, and God will always have a way for us to um, find the path to Him, no matter what type of things that come in front of us. He will definitely find. He don't even have to find because He know where each one of us are. But on a large scale, like right now, we're living in a time where there is hypocrisy and quarrel, which is called Gali. And He has made provisions for us to be able to live at this time, to give devotional service to Him, and continue, even though we're living on this planet and going through all these things, you know, you don't have to say, well, when I get to heaven, I'm going to meet the Lord. You know, you have Him in your heart right now. He's the Paramatma, the super soul. He's seeing what you're seeing. He's seeing your reactions, and He's seeing your choices. And our thing is, we need to rely on Him as much as we can. And when I say rely, I think about in the past that because I have been in a few religions, and I could just never get that feel like this is wrong. Or you can see, like, there was a statement, there's a verse in the Bible, you can tell the tree by its fruit. And you can always see what kind of fruit that this particular religion is bringing down. And a lot of time, and I won't say all the time, because there are some, individually, there's really some good people that may be in a particular religion because they grew up with it. They don't want to go any further. This is all they know. I know I have a friend that's like that. She grew up in the church, and even though she talks, sometimes she makes sense though. But then most of the time she don't because she's interpreting the Bible for herself to fit her own needs. And so you will see in some of the religions, especially the smaller ones. I'm talking about the smaller ones, because you have your major religions, and then you have these little churches that preach and do what they want to do, and they have an agenda, But when you understand that God has a way for us, He's waiting. He's right there. He's right here. You don't have to go far. All you got to do is pray and ask, you know, and continue up until the point where you do come into a devotee, a true devotee who can put you on the right path. Um, just do the best that you can. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear something, because every time I come in my car, I get people from my business that want to talk and stuff like that. So, there's so much in this little book. And the one thing I cannot make sure that I don't forget is that, as it says, we need to clear the dust off the mirror of our mind, because we have so many years. We think that this is our only life, and a lot of people say that, live your life because this is the only one you have. Well, that's not true. Evidence have shown that that's not true. We have those near-death experiences. We have kids that have been born that remember their past, and so take this life, chant the Hadi Krishna mantra. Just start. Just start. Okay, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say it slowly, and I hope that I'm pronouncing. I've been saying it for the last 2 years, and it's been helping. So, okay, it's Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant that. You know what? I want you to chant it, and I want you to tell me. Chant it. I'm going to give you can you chant it 5 times? Okay, just 5 times. When you're laying in bed, wake up and just chant it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, tell me what you think about that. Now, time is running up. We're almost on 20 minutes, and I don't want to go too far. We stopped at there are 26 basic qualifications for a holy man, and in the Bhagavad Gita we find Sri Krishna himself give the following verdict. Let me see how many. What's the end of this chapter? I'm on page 14, and I'm going to stop there because the end of it is page 25. So I'm going to stop on 14. And for you guys, whoever is listening, 5 times a day. I don't care where you do it. You can be cooking, you can be walking, you can just be thinking. Just chant it and enjoy the rest of your day. Okay? So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for taking the time to come and visit me to hear my poorly reading, and I hope that I talked loud enough for each and every one to hear. And if you have any questions, please leave them below, and I can forward to someone who can explain it to you a whole lot better than I can, and give you more in-depth information. I am just a student. I am just a beginning student. I've only been studying. I do studying since what? It started almost 2 years ago, and so there's a lot to learn. And I know I'm not going to get it in this lifetime, because I think of my age right now, and I will not be able to get through all the books that I want to, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to let you guys go. If you want a copy of this book, let me know so you can read it on your own and get a better understanding, because I know my reading is not perfect, and if any mistakes or words, please forgive me. Thank you. Our time is up. It's at 20 minutes. I love you guys and have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.